Hi Collective, welcome to my channel. My name is Stephanie. This is the Luna Phoenix. I hope you are doing well. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Before I get into the reading, there are a few things I want to address. The fact that I have still been inconsistent with my readings. I had the hope to get back into star sign readings, but truthfully, it's I don't have time. And that is something that I hope to work toward this year, having more time to do that. But my goal for now is to get just collective readings out. I seem to deal with those better. Most of the messages I get are in a collective format, if you will, anyway. So it's easier for me to channel the collective messages and kind of get that out to you guys. But I do want to get back into the flow of doing star sign readings because that's what most people resonate with. With that being said, we have been in a very dark period collectively. I haven't done too many personal readings, but the ones I have done are in alignment with people I know personally, people I work with, people just in my regular life, my friends, and it's been a very dark period. I've mentioned it before, I'm not an astrologer, so I don't fully understand astrology and how it works. I usually channel off of my feeling. And then I'll, hear an astrologer kind of go into what's going on. And I'm like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So what I do know is something that seems very significant for this year is the nodal shift, which is the North Node and the South Node. If you're following tropical astrology, it just moved from Gemini, North Node, Sagittarius, South Node, to Taurus and Scorpio, North and South Node, which takes place every 18 months. And if you can recall the last 18 months of our lives, they've been chaotic. It's been a chaotic energy. There's been a lot of misinformation, just anarchy almost, but it's been like a controlled anarchy. So you may have been seeing in your life a lot of imbalances, a lot of struggle with doing things that you're really not meant to be doing. And actually at the beginning of 2021, I spoke to my mom and I said, it's going to get really hard for us to do what we're not being called to do. It's going to get really difficult to go to these jobs we don't want to go to be in relationships we don't want to be in, to be around people we don't want to be in. And I don't know about you guys, but increasingly throughout the year, it became more and more difficult, almost like walking through mud with cinder blocks wrapped around my ankles. There's been a lot of depression and anxiety collectively, with given the state of the world, the whole, I don't want to name it thing. It's no wonder why depression has been kicked in and we've been isolated. But I said at the beginning of this pandemic that, well, I don't know if I said it on here, I'm pretty sure I did, but it's a spiritual war. This is a spiritual virus. Narcissism is at the forefront of it. So a lot of us are waking up to what narcissism truly is versus being an empath, right? We see narcissism in our everyday lives. From, people cutting in line at the store, from, personal relationships where you're kind of waking up to how you've been abused, coworkers, bosses, it's really been highlighted, and it's for a reason. When you think about this pandemic and what this has kind of made us do, we've had to start taking into account other people, right? We wear masks to cover our face, but to protect others, right? I'm not going to get into the whole mask, vaccine, all that debate. I'm not doing it. But at the core of this is a spiritual virus. And we are coming to kind of another pivot where I feel like we've been needing to step into purpose, but now it's essential. I feel like there's another wave right behind us that's waking up. If you can't see it in your everyday life, just look around. I mean, spirituality is becoming so mainstream that it literally blows my mind. At any rate, I really woke up in 2019. I've talked about this before, but it's kind of like I go to sleep, wake back up, go to sleep, wake back up, because I started back in 2012 or 2011-ish is when I first started becoming aware. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna leave that there, but that's kind of what I've been feeling now. Some synchronicities that I've been getting into, or that I've been seeing and having, are different animals. I've had like weird occasions with different animals, like for instance a peacock that may be significant to you. I felt called to pull this stone out. This is a desert rose, which oddly enough, I kind of looked up some information about it. This was given to me by my sister a little over a year ago. She got it from Joshua Tree, but the signs that it represents are Scorpio, Taurus, and Capricorn, which I found interesting because the nodal shift, and then we have so many planets in Capricorn right now. And when you think about Capricorn, Capricorn is the goat that literally can stand on the wall, right? This is somebody that's steadfast, determined, stubborn. There's a lot of fixed energy I'm feeling, like just stubbornness. When you look at Scorpio and Taurus also, it's very headstrong is what I'm seeing. So what I feel like we're coming into is a time to really push through any fears that we have. And I say that a lot, but it feels like things are lightening up so that we can. When you go into the restrictions and all this beyond the pandemic, there's been a lot of restriction around career paths, relationships, just almost like just being stuck and you can't really see a way out. It's not that there's no desire to, or no effort being put in. It's just obstacles just in the way, preventing you from taking the steps that you want to take. So I feel like that energy is being lifted so that we can step into purpose and do what we're supposed to do. Because at the end of the day, we all have a purpose here, right? So I'm going to go ahead and get into the reading before I ramble on for 20 minutes. But anyway, again, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. So what I got here, overall energy, we have Earth and empowerment. And I'll go ahead and read what these say. So Earth, the frequency of Earth activates our deep connection to the physical plane by showing us the beauty of all the aspects of our great mother and revealing the more ethereal, spiritual aspects of our nature. The frequency of empowerment supports our ability to show up fully and completely, uniting us with others in the deep trust that we are connected through the same source. So there's a cleansing going on, right? Gaia is cleansing energy. We can see this etherically. We can see it in the 3D. We see it in our personal lives. We see it in our bodies. So I'm not surprised that came out. Then empowerment, right? That just goes back into the energy of pushing through these things, right? So even if we have these blocks, it's the will and determination to push through them because you've been called to do something and you know that inherently. So the current energy that I got for the collective is the Hierophant, the Magician, and the Tower. All three major arcana. This is faded. We are exactly where we are supposed to be right now. We chose to be here right now. And whether you believe it's to wake up humanity as a whole or to break family trauma and chains, it's all the same, right? Like empowerment says, we're all connected to one source. So, and just really the conversations I have on a day-to-day basis, we are all going through this. So the Hierophant, right, speaks of a spiritual teacher, a guide. This is also traditions. So when I look at this card in this deck specifically, it's a very enlightened card. It's like getting to know your guides, getting to know your ancestors and your higher self. And there's so much peace in this card, so much joy and having wholeness. Now we had the Magician come out twice in the same place. This is the coming in energy. The Magician speaks of a manifester. This is somebody who has everything in them, all of the elements to create the reality that you want to create. Now with that coming in twice, that's a confirmation for me that we can create the reality we want. The reason we don't is self-limiting beliefs, not dealing with trauma, fear, thinking we're unworthy of something. So that's being highlighted. We need to address it so that we can step into our purpose. The Tower. The Tower is right in alignment with what I know about astrology, right? The Pluto return that's hitting the U.S. this month, the Scorpio at the South Node, this is our past. This is, South Node represents your past, right? It's past lives, things that you're used to, things that you know how to do, things that you've already mastered. So the North Node is things that you've come to this life to master, right? These are things that we're learning. The Tower is here because we can't step into purpose with those old belief systems, those old traditions, those old fears, right? We have to completely close that door in order to move forward. Now, if you're leaving the door halfway open and you're like, okay, I'm just going to put my foot out just a little bit and see what's going on, the universe doesn't resonate with that. They're going to keep giving you what you're asking for. And if you're asking for your current reality, if you're asking for stress, if you're asking for, hardship, that's what you're going to keep getting, even if your foot is out the door, because you're not fully committed. You're not fully empowered. So, anyway, it's interesting. The moon is at the bottom of the deck. Now, it is a new moon today in Aquarius. I think it's Aquarius. Pretty sure it's Aquarius. Think about the energy of Aquarius. When I think of Aquarius, I think of rebellion. I think of social justice. I think of Rage Against the Machine. That's what happens when I think about Aquarius. Now, with the moon here, these are things below the surface. Intuition, secrets, deception, intuition. I don't know if I said that already. It's an inherent knowing. It's just a knowing. And it's being able to look beneath the surface, right? And I was having a discussion yesterday with dealing with other people. We're at a place where we can't look at somebody's potential anymore. We have to look at, and that's including our own, we have to look at what it really is. Whether you're talking yourself down or talking yourself up, what is the truth? This is a very truth-telling time. It's time to come out from underneath the shadows and just be authentic. I felt led to have this part. I got this for Christmas. Be your authentic self. This is the time to be who you are, see things for what they are, and let go of illusions. The moon represents illusions. When you think about the way the moon that it shines at night, there's shadows, right? Because the way that the light is hitting the trees and the houses, you may think something's standing there, but it's not. It's a shadow. This is addressing our shadow side. This is coming into union with ourselves. We should already be kind of, you know, at that place. Anyway. The energy that's coming in, I have the Four of Swords, the Magician again, the Page of Wands. Four of Swords is a time of rest, reflection, meditation. Although I feel like there's been a lot of restful time, I don't feel like it's been restful. It's been a lot of isolation and seclusion and not necessarily rest. So this is a message that we need to rest our mind, body, and spirit so that we can hear what we need to hear, so that we can see what we need to see. Because if our brain is going at 100 miles an hour and we're trying to figure out ways out of the situation, and we have real life things going on, we have kids, we have husbands, wives, jobs, it becomes difficult to hear the messages that you're supposed to be getting. So this is a time to really take it down a notch to ensure that you're hearing what you need to hear and seeing what you need to see and feeling what you need to feel. Again, the Magician, just a confirmation for me. Page of Wands, this is new inspiration. This is passion. This is wanting to step out and dive into these things, whether it be, it's, to me, when I think about passion, I think about what's calling you at a soul level, whether it's working with animals. You may feel a need to work with animals, whether it's working with children or working with elderly, working with disabled people, painting, coloring, painting and coloring, seriously, because I'm in 5th grade, painting, creating music, doing tarot, you know, whatever it is that makes you feel at peace and that you can be fully divulged in without outside distractions is what we need to be doing. Now, if you want to make that a business or not, that's a whole nother story. We do have the energy of Taurus here in the North Node, which is about, when I think about Taurus, money, career focused, steadfast, material, not in a bad way though. I feel like this is somebody that's very grounded and can ground their passion and energy into something tangible. That's the energy of Taurus to me as a reader. So we have that on our side right now, and with that being in the North Node, this is something we're learning. So if you want to take your passion and make it a career, make it your source of income, right now would be the time to harness that energy in. At the bottom of this deck, we have the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is fate. The Wheel of Fortune is good luck. The Wheel of Fortune is, I look at it as like a helping hand from the universe. If you're serious about what you want and you've made it clear to the universe what you want, because we do have to be clear. We can't just say, you know, I want a new job. Well, do you want to be a pooper scooper, or do you want to be, you know, a counselor? You have to be specific in what you're asking and what you're striving for. But I feel like the Wheel of Fortune is a helping hand in that. We also have the Divine Feminine at the bottom of this deck. It's a very feminine energy, receiving. We've been in the energy of the rise of the feminine, right? When you look at all the systems that are falling, those are patriarchal systems. All throughout history, the masculine energy is kind of what has got us to this point. It's been the rise of the feminine. So this is just a reminder to harness in your feminine energy, be able to receive, be compassionate, be empathetic. Let me read what it says. The frequency of the divine feminine supports our receptive, nurturing, and soft side, allowing it to express itself openly and helping us to connect to our intrinsic understanding of our connection to all of creation. Now, two of these cards talk about our connection to all creation. So when we raise our vibration, it affects those around us, right? So when they raise their vibration, it affects them around them, and so forth. And that's how we affect change in the world. All right, anyway, so let's see. I have no real format for how I'm doing this reading. I just felt the need to do it because of this energy and because of what I know is coming in. So I'm gonna get one from the Ghetto Nuns deck because I haven't used it. But God. Now, whether you believe in God, however you believe, source, higher self, whatever you call it, to me it's all the same. And it's faith. What message do we have for the collective? I'm not going to take that. Although it was 2 pop. What message do we have for the collective? Oh my God. Yo. That is too funny. Okay, training day. And all I'm seeing is training day. Training day. Anyway. When I was talking about rebellion, that energy, Aquarius energy, I almost said Nirvana. This band reminds me of Aquarius. So, come as you are, transcendent, pressure. It says drugs, which is interesting because I was listening to another reader that I love, Queen Cup. Was it her? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was her. Talking about the zombie apocalypse, right? So, The Walking Dead, right? And I'm in Atlanta, so it's massive here because they film it just outside of Atlanta. But, and actually, as I'm thinking about it, on my feed this morning, I saw that one of the actors passed away. That's in The Walking Dead. The opioid crisis. If you haven't been personally affected by that, and I'm not saying like you use opioids, but I'm sure so many people have been affected by that, whether it be a loved one or yourself or a friend. They're zombies. And if you've ever dealt with somebody who has a strong addiction like that, specifically to opioids, it's literally like looking at a zombie, and I'm getting emotional because it's something I deal with on a personal level, but it is like there's nobody there. And when you think about apocalyptic energy, which is what we've been in, now it's not like, what's that movie, Armageddon, where, you know, the whole world blowing up, or, you know, I Am Legend, all this stuff. Apocalyptic energy is the truth being revealed, right? So we have been in an apocalypse. The world as we know is dead. Whole new world we're in right now. If you haven't seen it, you've been asleep. But anyway, before I get off on that tangent, there's a whole nother pandemic going on with addiction, specifically, in my opinion, to opioids. And I won't get into addiction because I'm not an addiction counselor, but I've done a lot of research just throughout my personal experiences, and a lot of it's trauma, issues with self-worth. These are severely hurt people. So I say that to say, be kind. But you also, you know, obviously have to have boundaries. But at any rate, it's interesting to see this dynamic play out, and especially because drugs is listed right here, and we all know the elements around the band Nirvana. So it's just interesting to me. But Come As You Are stands out, and I hear that a lot. I listen to that song a lot. It goes back into authenticity. Be yourself. Come as you are, right? So under this card, because two came out, right? We have Gwen Stefani. When you think about Gwen Stefani, she is authentic. She is different. She is, I love Gwen Stefani, personally. But anyway, we have rock steady. We have eclectic, no doubt. I'm just a girl. That's another song I listen to a lot. Feminine energy, right? There's actually a phrase in there, and now I won't remember it. Anyway, I mean, I'm sure you've all heard I'm Just a Girl by No Doubt. And when you listen to that song, it's basically talking about how the feminine energy has been suppressed. And, oh, you can't do that. You're just a girl, you know? So it's just another, to me, a confirmation of the rise of the feminine. It's interesting that both of these to me scream Aquarius as a reader. And I'd be interested to see what her placements are and what the placements are of not just Kurt Cobain, but all of the band members. Anyway, let's see. I'm gonna take a minute. What message do we have for the collective? It's too many. Full moon in Cancer, a personal issue reaches resolution. Any other messages for the collective? Haha. Okay. North Node. Step out of your comfort zone. What did I literally just talk about? So, again, South Node is what we already know, what we have already mastered, our past lives, things like that. North Node is what we're here to learn, our purpose, right? So, maybe check out where your North and South Node are in your chart, and then kind of see how it applies to this shift. Personal issue reaches resolution. I will read the book on that just to see, but to me it speaks for itself. This card indicates an especially feminine time. It also heralds the time to deal with any family issues coming up. Nothing to worry about. It just signals a challenge is now coming to an end. This card also suggests both that a domestic matter or private issue will soon come to a head, and that's a great time to move house. This is the time for you to step up and agree to overcome your insecurities. Interesting. Okay. I've been feeling like a pull to do more oracle cards lately, so I'm gonna pull a few of them. What message do we have for the collective? These are new, so they're a little hard to shuffle. What message do we have for the collective? Thank you. Dude. Okay. Dude. Okay. First quarter moon in Cancer. Push through any insecurities. That's literally what the last line of what I just read said. Very feminine time. So let's see. First quarter moon in Cancer. First quarter moon also represents like energy building. Chances are that you started off strong, fast, out of the gate, and full of bravado. But now you're allowing fears and doubts to cloud your vision. Family issues coming up now need dealing with. Maybe you think you're not good enough or you're waiting for something to go wrong. This isn't the way to get what you want in life. Instead, be kind to yourself and others. Work on your insecurities and head toward your goals. I think this just came out for a personal reading I did too, actually. It speaks of the third eye, which is located just above the midpoint between your eyebrows, and it radiates a gorgeous indigo color. It can help you to attain the clear vision that you're connected to all life everywhere, and that fear is an illusion. Again, there's an emphasis on being connected here. Think about the world, right? This pandemic didn't affect just the US. It didn't just affect Australia. It affected the whole world. So nobody can tell me that things like this don't have an impact. By us raising our own vibration doesn't have an impact. Look how fear manifests. So imagine if love manifests. I want to pull one more because I'm on a roll here. Hold on one second. Dang, I just threw the box down. I keep hearing ancestors. So, and I've been called to be, I go through periods where I want to look at my own ancestry. So, it may be something you want to do right now, see where you come from. Even in a past life. What messages do we have? Fork in the road. And if you are dealing with family issues, authenticity. Speak your truth. Let go of the attachment. We had New Life come out. Can we get one more? It's basically like the saying, old ways don't work. So why keep doing them? It's literally the definition of insanity. The only thing that keeps you from doing new things is fear. Why are you afraid? Ask yourself these questions. Why am I afraid? Mending is at the bottom of the deck. So again, a confirmation that family issues, it specifically speaks of family, but I feel like interpersonal relationships will be mended right now. The ones that are supposed to be. The ones that are not will fall away, but they're supposed to. Truth be told, speak your truth. That's not to say somebody else's truth isn't their truth, so you also have to have that feminine energy of reception, right? We have to be able to understand and have compassion that may be somebody else's truth. Do I agree with it or not? That's on me. Move accordingly. Fork in the road. Let's see. Time to make a decision, considering the consequences as you prepare to act, owning up to your obligation and make a necessary choice. Will you take the road less traveled or the one well worn by others who have come before you? Be present and do not avoid this junction, for it is an important crossroads. Take heart, as no matter which path you choose, you will have a rich and meaningful experience. You've come as far as you can on this part of your journey, and now you're faced with a choice. Inherent in this choice is the need for change, for evolution, and for a bettering of your circumstances. Narrow it down to just a single question. Who do I need to become, and what do I need to believe in order to live a life of prosperity? I'm seeing the full card in my mind, which actually was at the bottom of one of these decks, underneath it. But it's okay when you think about the full. This is somebody who's has no inhibitions and is literally about to walk off the edge of a cliff, but they're not afraid to do it. So while it's a reminder of being cautious and paying attention to your surroundings, it's also a reminder to just leap. Obviously, don't leap off of a cliff, but irrational fears will keep you from experiencing something you want to experience. This is important. Indecision is extremely frustrating and will lead to anxiety, loss, and confusion. At this juncture, you can't remain in place without losing your way altogether. Avoid the tendency to let others choose for you, which amounts to a subtle refusal to take responsibility. Don't give your power away, not even to this oracle. By not making a choice, you are making a choice for which you must be accountable. If that choice leads to undesirable circumstances, take heart. Spirit never tires of giving you second chances. You can always start again once you've learned this valuable lesson. This is important to me. When we don't stand in our truth and stand in our authenticity, we let people choose for us, right? Well, why did they talk to me like that? Because you let them. Why did they do that to me? Because you let them. There's a radical acceptance of that and taking accountability for how you let people treat you. And it goes into your boundaries, your truth, speaking up for yourself, whether they disagree or not. You have to let go of that attachment. If they disagree and they decide to move on, however people deal with, let me rephrase that, however people react to your boundaries is on them. And that's it. Just like however you react to them is on you. I'm going to leave that with you guys. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. It's been very thick, heavy time. And a lot of people are going through some really heavy things. So keep that in mind when you're speaking to others, when you're, working with people. And also keep in mind you have to be kind to yourself. And if that means that you have to stand up and speak up for yourself, then do so. Take time to rest. Nurture yourself. We need to eat better. I know for sure I do. We need to make sure we're getting enough sleep. Doing enough things that free our mind from the day-to-day mundane. Before I go, this is a 6th year, which as I'm talking about that made me think about it. So the 6th house in astrology speaks of those things. Health. The day-to-day activities that we do, the rituals that we create in our lives on a small scale that impact our lives on a macro level. So be mindful of how you're treating yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, and be mindful of how you're treating others in this time. And speak good things to yourself. At the end of the day, we talk to ourselves the most. And at the end of the day, we are the only ones that we have to live this life with. No one else is guaranteed. So, anyway, I'm going to leave that with you guys. I hope it resonated. If so, please subscribe. Make sure to like the video, share the video with someone who may resonate and could take something from it. And I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.